20% of the military recruits wash out because of stress fractures. They have stress fractures because they're vitamin D deficient. It costs the military over $200 million a year to treat these stress fractures, these kids out with rehab, days lost from work. So actually this has become a national threat to the military because 75% of the kids are unfit for military duty, too obese, too fat, or stress fractures. And then with Navy SEALs, they have rigorous training, and these guys are too valuable to lose. The military is interested in, just imagine if we can produce a super soldier. A soldier that doesn't get tired, run faster, carry a lot more weight on his back, and has great cognitive function, doesn't get flustered by anything, and can focus and be more mentally focused. So that's why the military was interested in the things I'm doing, because of my work with the football team. They noticed how this football team just basically took off. And the military, as I stated earlier, they're having 20% of their recruits are having stress fractures because of lower vitamin D levels. It's too expensive to train a Navy SEAL and then lose them to a stress fracture. It costs a lot of money to do that. So how do they decrease? So actually they were doing some research. They were putting the vitamin D in candy bars. I told them that wasn't the most effective way to do it. I said, what if they don't like candy, or, so that's not the best way or most efficient way. Then you can only put a certain amount in a candy bar. So the first year I started working the football team, this kid set all those records. Quarterback threw for like 10,000 yards during his career. And he had two 1,000-yard receivers. They had about 12, 13 kids made, all conference, and a lot of them went to the all-state game. So these are these kids that were malnourished and behavioral problems. So now we have them. They're amenable kids. They dress up. They stay out of trouble, and they're going to college, and they all have bright futures. So vitamin D improves athletic performance. Remember, so when you get above vitamin D levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter, increased muscle contraction. So I started working with my nephew, who's now a junior at LSU. He went to TCU for 3 years and just transferred. So in high school, he was a 5A boys, 110-meter high hurdle champ 3 years in a row. And he was a Big 12 conference champ and at TCU in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, in the 60 and 100 meters. He's second team All-American. He's 6'3", 2% body fat, 221 pounds. Run the 40-yard dash in 4.3 seconds, bench press 440, and squat 550. So even vitamin D performance improved, and the females at this high school, MLK, that I work with in Atlanta, the girls actually won the 5A track and field championship. They had the fastest time in the United States in 2012. All these girls have gone mostly to the SEC schools. They're stellar, they're standout. This is another player I work with. This is Earl Robinson. He's the son of one of my friends, and you see it says he can play on professional dirt. He just finished his sophomore year at Ole Miss, took the starting shortstop, and they describe him as acrobatic and having freakish lateral range, and so he can do flips and everything, but he's been on vitamin D, strong, fast, and big. This is one of the high school football players. He was a senior in high school at this time. This is Josh Outlaw, and he's standing next to a Marine. And you see how he dwarfs the Marine, and he's 6'4", 6'5", with about 290 and almost no body fat. You don't see big guys that big with no body fat. So actually, I told the military, I said, if you gave my guys the same training as my high school football players, same training as your guys, I said they would outperform them every time. Because they are higher vitamin D levels, they're stronger, they're faster, they're less likely to get a stress fracture, they're less likely to break bones, and they already can run all day. So it also improves academic performance. So I started working with my sister's elementary school in Rouville, Mississippi. Mississippi is ranked last in everything good, and we're ranked first in everything bad, basically. So basically, 93% of the kids in my sister's school were on the free lunch program. Most of them came from abused homes where alcohol abuse, drug abuse, all this was high, so a lot of them have the fetal alcohol syndrome and all that, plus more. So the first year we took all the soda pop machines out of the school, and I found a free vitamin program. They donated over $1 million of free vitamins to my sister's school. So within 4 years, she went from a total of 1,992 absenteeism into 2007, she only had 92. So that's 1,000% drop in the kids that are absent. Also, behavioral problems dropped too. So kids stopped coming to the office and having to have discipline problems. So there was an article in the paper here. So a school went from a level 1 in Mississippi, which is probation, to a level 4, which is the second highest academic level. And so basically, you get these kids to get great nutrition. Vitamin D receptors are located in your brain. So once you get kids vitamin D level up, they focus better, they're calm, they sit down, they pay more attention, their mood is better, they stay awake, they're not sleepy all day. And so the high school that I work with at MLK, so these guys were malnourished and basically all type behavioral problems when I first started working with them. So this is a quarterback. He's a junior at Morehouse College now. He made 31 out of 36 on his ACT test. So actually the football players are leading academics at the school now. And 98% of these kids have graduated, four-year graduation from high school since I started working with them in 2011. The overall graduation for the state of Georgia is only 68%. So in 2011, 2012, we had 25 seniors off the first football team to get scholarships. So that's unheard of. If you have 5 or 10 guys get a scholarship, that's considered large. So people thought that was a fluke. The next year, 2012, 2013, we had 24 that got scholarships. So that means they have to be academically eligible, have to make a certain amount on the ACT test. So you had 25 football players off one team the first year, 24 off next year that academically qualified. Then 2013, 2014, we had about 18 that got scholarships, and also lowered the concussion rate.